Oh, hey, I just got back from the store. Got some stuff for dinner. I'll get it out and show you. Who left all these lights on? Here's a few of the things I got at the store today. The kabocha finally looks good. This year it was really watery and light in color. I'm hoping this one will taste good. I'm going to cut this into 1 inch or 3 centimeter pieces. I'm going to leave the skin on, and we're going to boil that in dashi and some other flavoring ingredients. I've got some pork shoulder, and what I'm going to do with that is stew it with some of this gobo. Gobo is a long root vegetable. In English it's called the burdock root. What I'm going to do with this to prepare it is scrub the skin with a vegetable scrubber. I'm not going to peel it. You will lose a lot of flavor if you do. I'm going to cut this into about 2.5 inch pieces to stew with the pork. Okay, I'll get these things ready and then show you what's next. For this tasty side dish, all we need are 5 simple ingredients. I have the 1/4 kabocha. I'm going to use 1.5 cups of dashi. It'll be just enough to cover it. It might be less. I have 2 tablespoons of sugar. In this case it's raw cane sugar. 1 tablespoon of mirin, which is sweet sake, and 1.5 tablespoons of soy sauce. Okay, let's get it in the pan. Before we start, I have to explain that a lot of Japanese cooking requires a lid that drops into the pan but leaves a gap around the outside. This is so steam can escape, but the food will still cook evenly and retain a lot of flavor. First of all, I'll put the dashi in until it just barely covers everything. The kabocha will release a lot of water. I'll put the lid and turn it on and bring it up to a boil. Alright, it's come to a boil. I'm going to remove the foam, turn it down to a medium heat, and boil it for 5 minutes. Alright, it's been boiling for about 5 or 6 minutes. I feel the outside's getting a little soft. That's what I want. You should really poke it every now and then just to see how it's doing. If it seems like it's getting soft too fast, you might want to get rid of some of the water and reduce the cooking time. I'm going to add my sugar and the mirin. I'm going to cook this for another 5 minutes. Alright, it's really starting to go now. It's getting pretty soft. I'm going to add the soy sauce and continue cooking without the lid so that some of the liquid evaporates. Okay, I've cooked it until about 1/3 of the liquid is remaining. From here you have a choice. You can either take it off now and have a little bit of the syrup, or cook it all sec, or until it's nearly dry. I like it nearly dry, so I'm going to take it until there's no liquid left. Alright, I'll let this cool and then start on the pork dish. Just out of curiosity. Pick one apart and see how it looks. Well, it's done through. Feels a little soft though. Must have been a bad season. Give it a taste. Tastes pretty good. I think it might firm up once it's cool. Here's the 2 ingredients for a stewed dish. I have 1/2 pound of the pork shoulder. I've seared that. And about an 11-inch piece of the gobo that I cut into 1.5-inch pieces. Okay. Next thing we have to do is get into the pan and start boiling. Something that I didn't mention before is after you cut gobo, you should put it into a bowl of water. It releases some of the alkalines that are in it and keeps it from turning brown. I know how to make this dish, but I don't have a recipe. I know about how long it takes to get this size piece of pork tender and how long it takes to cook the gobo. But generally when I make it, I just pour things into the pan. And I thought, why can I do that? And why don't I know how much stuff is in there? Well, thinking about this dish, I know that in the end I'm going to have about 3/4 of a cup of liquid left to keep everything moist. So I thought, how much soy sauce can I put into a 3/4 cup glass and still be able to drink it? So I tried it. Put in 2 tablespoons of soy sauce into 3/4 cup of water. I could drink that if I wanted to. I could drink all of it if I wanted to. It's got good flavor. The only other ingredient that's going to go into the dish is sake. Most of the alcohol is going to burn off that and just leave the flavor of the sake. I'm going to use about 1/2 cup. So for this recipe, I'm going to use the meat and the gobo that we've already cut, 2 tablespoons of soy sauce, and 1/2 cup of sake. And we'll see how it turns out. Being able to judge ingredients like that's important. I mean, everybody, if they use sugar in their coffee, they know about how much they put in, how many spoonfuls they put in. But if the next day they didn't have their usual spoon, they'd probably know how much sugar to put into their coffee. That's one of the things I guess you learn how to do when you cook the same things over and over again. And then from that, sometimes you can guess at how to cook other things. We'll give this a try and see how it comes out. Everything's going into the pan. Have the gobo, the pork, and plenty of water to cover. That's about 2 cups. Or 1/2 cup of sake. And 2 tablespoons of soy sauce. I'm going to turn on the fire and bring it to a boil. The pork and the gobo were done in about an hour. Gobo can be boiled almost forever and not fall apart. And the meat tastes good. We also have our kabocha and some rice. I'd like to give it a try now. I'll start with the gobo. The only way I can describe this is it's like a very earthy carrot. Tender. That's good. Pork shoulder is a really nice cut of meat. There's enough fat in it to keep it tender, but it's not as fat as, say, side bacon. Remember kabocha? That's nice. Japanese food's great for teaching how to balance flavoring ingredients without destroying the main component of a dish. If you have a chance, I'd experiment with it a little. Thank you.